and welcome back to Love Your Food. This week we have a great late summer simple slaw recipe for you. This is a jicama and a mango slaw. Really great side dish for lots of different kinds of things. We were eating this with some grilled meat. Absolutely simple, goes with a lot of different stuff, and here are our ingredients. So we're starting off with our jicama root. We have these beautiful fresh and very ripe mangoes. We have some cilantro, a little bit of lime juice, and some green onions. So we're going to start by just de-stemming the cilantro and just getting that ready for everything. This is going to go sort of the base of everything. So we're going to get rid of all those big sort of woody stems and everything else. We are just going to give a good chop, pretty fine honestly. So we're just going to bundle it all up and make sure that it is well chopped. If there's any little stems in there, that is just fine. So that's going to go into our bowl first. Next up, we are going to deal with our green onions. So cut off any of the sort of dry end bits and the roots for sure you want to get off. And we're going to cut this on quite a significant bias. We want these nice long thin pieces of this, just for a little bit of visual interest in the final dish. So you see that those nice angles in there. It's just a nice way to prepare your green onions when you're chopping them. So any remaining little pieces that aren't quite sliced, you can just give them a good chop there, and then that's going to go in the bowl with the cilantro. Next up is going to be the jicama. So we're starting by cutting off the root end and the stem end, and we're going to cut it in half. Do exercise some caution because it will go flying. If you cut your jicama open and you find any little brown bits like this, just cut those out. They are not going to be in your final dish. We're going to be grating this pretty finely so it doesn't have to look particularly pretty before we chop it really, really small. You do want to get all of this fibrous skin off. So you want to make sure it's good and clean on the outside and make sure you get everything out off the outside. It's quite tough and fibrous. So once your jicama is nice and clean, you don't have any little bits of skin left on the outside, it is time to chop it. So we're going to cut it into pretty thin slices. You can see here, and from there, it is much easier then to just stack it up and cut it into those nice thin little matchsticks. You can also use a mandolin for this if you like. We just wanted to chop it. It's a little easier. Sometimes these really fibrous roots don't work quite so well in the mandolin, and this is just as easy. So you can see those great little thin slices. So with the mango, you've seen us do this before. You want to cut on either side of where the seed is. You have to sort of guess your best guess, and we got pretty close on this one. And then because we want to make a slaw out of this, we're going to cut these nice little thin sort of strips to the skin instead of cutting it into squares or anything like that. Just because that's the shape we want our final product to take. So we're going to cut it in that nice thin way. We're almost all the way through. Leave it through to the skin, and then we are going to just sort of shave it off in strips so that you have those nice matchstick sized slices of that beautiful, you can see how ripe that is, that incredibly ripe mango. So there you go. We're going to add our lime juice and a good sprinkling of salt as well. And then just give everything a good stir to combine it. So you want to make sure everything's well combined. You want to make sure that lime juice has had a chance to basically touch everything in there. You want to make sure that the salt is well distributed. Just give it a good stir until everything seems to be well combined. Now you can eat this fresh right away, or you can let it sit in the fridge for a little while, just to let the flavors come together. You can even make it the day before. We like to eat it pretty fresh. This has just been sitting in the fridge for less than an hour, and after that, it's ready to serve. So you just plop that on a plate. It's a great side dish with grilled meats. You can garnish that with a little bit of cilantro, because presentation counts. And that's it. That's the whole thing. Really, really super simple. Absolutely delicious. Great flavors in this. And great textures as well. So you have that really beautiful ripe mango, the pretty crispy jicama. Absolutely fantastic. Highly recommended. So if you like this recipe, please do like and subscribe. And if you have any recipes you'd like to see Chef Caleb try on the channel, please let us know in the comments below. And remember to love your food.